Hey, how's it going? I am actually live and things are working and the internet seems fine. I'm here on an afternoon, which is a little bit strange. I've just happened to have a little bit of time on my own, and well, I'm dog sitting. She's sat here, and I'm just making sure she's been a bit ill, so I'm looking after her. And I thought it'd be a good time to kind of talk about some of my favorite movie magazines, particularly horror um, focused articles and things like that, little time capsule. So, going to start off with 1992 edition of Fangoria, and I'm going to switch so that it's on. Oh man, I've had so many problems, technical problems over the last few days. Hey, Mikey. Good to see you again. I'm not hopefully not going to disappear this time. It's good to see you. Guys, check out Mike's comedy channel. There's some really cool clips and things on there that I really enjoy. Um, and yeah, this is all really about nostalgia and fun things that maybe we remember from years and years ago. Isn't that what makes the internet so cool? So we're going to have a look, like I said, about this is Fangoria from 1992, and the front cover is always brilliant on Fangoria. It's kind of almost like a EC Comics kind of thing with a sort of striking and really interesting. Hey, Jay's here. How you doing, Jay? You watching on? I was going to say on Twitter. Watching on X. Um, oh, and Gareth's here as well. You should be at work, should you not be? Used to Fangoria in Borders with a Starbucks and never bought it. Yeah, to be honest, I bought most of mine older ones of Fangoria, so like job lots that people were getting rid of. Um, so yeah, that was pretty cool. Um, and it's hard to get a hold. To be honest, though, like comics, people don't remember or choose not to remember, I guess, that actually like getting hold of comics in the UK used to be really hard. I remember going into a local newspaper shop and I'd get the odd Batman or the odd Superman, but it was months behind America and really hard um, to get hold of. And also like just hidden away. It was like comics were definitely a dirty secret. Like being a nerd, being a geek meant something very different than I think than it does. Now it's almost like very cool to be to be a geek, to be a nerd. Like I'm a nerd up, but I'm into something that millions and millions of other people also like, and it's very mainstream. But like yeah, getting hold of a comic was quite tricky. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. If you're watching in different areas, nice to see you, bud. Yeah, I think I don't want to get Gareth in trouble now because I just realised you. Jay, you're not his boss, are you? It's like get back to work. So to start off with, gonna have a look at. I could have done with some advice earlier on from these audio experts because I was really struggling with turning the sound down on my iPhone that I was using as a camera. I decided not to use a camera. So the first thing I was going to look at in here, the one that took my fancy, so to speak, was the video shopping list that they used to put in Fangoria every month. And this is the month of threes. So this was the month. Oh, thank you very much. Cheers, mate. Yeah, we're all cool here. It's just the elite. And it was the month of threes. So Charles Play 3, Basket Case 3. I'm a massive Basket Case fan. It's just such a great series of fun films made on a micro budget. Hen and a lot of films are just incredible anyway. Practical effects that we don't really see the like of anymore. I'll be honest with you. I am not an expert on Child's Play that came out that month, May 92. I watched JT's interview with the guy who played the kid in it, Alex Vincent, and it was interesting. And I do maybe need to watch a bit more of it. I always kind of stayed away from the Chucky things. It wasn't because it was particularly scary. I don't think it is particularly scary. I have seen the first one and maybe seen the remake, but I certainly wouldn't say I knew as much about Child's Play as a series as I do as say Friday the 13th or films like that. Other ones that came out that month, really interesting ones. Some that I've not heard of, and some that I have. So the Charles Band train was, hitting its stride in home video. So Demonic Toys. So anything toy related, he was pushing because of the success of Puppet Master. Mikey makes a good point there. Yeah, Abbott and Costello. I love Abbott and Costello. I'm old enough to remember in the UK anyway, when Abbott and Costello used to be on Channel 4 about 5:15 till 6 o'clock before, like say, a Desmond's or something was coming on at 6. And I used to watch those quite a lot. I think I've seen the Frankenstein one. I've definitely seen some of the ones where they team up with the Universal monsters. So yeah, those are good ones as well. So going back to 92, Fatal Attraction was released on VHS. Strangely, this is what it's saying in Fangoria, which is a strange one, because it came out in 1987. Surely it didn't take that long to make it to home video. The demand would have been quite high. That was a popular film. But there's one that stands out for me here that is Dead Space. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Dead Space. It's kind of an alien ripoff. And yeah, it's they come to a kind of cultural and religious understanding with the creature. It's a strange one. After he does all his murdering and everything. I say it's. And then Demonic Toys. Yeah, Demonic Toys. Like a lot of, I think that was the era of Full Moon Pictures where they weren't trying to make things that were sort of deliberately bad, deliberately silly. They were just making cheap films and cranking them out, and some of them are actually quite entertaining. I really like Puppet Master 2. I think that's a really good. That's probably that's for me the favorite of the series. I do like Trancers and things like that. Yeah, I'm a fan. I listened to the audiobook of Charles Band's autobiography. That was interesting. And one of his that he made, I'm not sure it was before Full Moon. Can't remember what was the name of the company that he did before Full Moon. I'm sure people will be able to tell me. But this one, the Terrorvision, which I think it was called Entertainment. Maybe it was called Entertainment Video. And where he took over Dino De Laurentiis's big studios in Italy and started cranking out films over there. So that's why you get what's the vampire one? The one with the bloodstone. My mind's gone blank. Larry will kill me. He's bought all of them. What's he called? Not ragu. That's food. Radu in it, and yeah, all those were made in this massive castle over in Italy. It's really interesting. Oh yeah, Three Stooges. Yeah, I had kids that look like the Stooges. Which three though? I know there's the Larry Curly and Moe, but then there's like the ones who popped in and disappeared as well, and when people passed away and all that. It's an interesting kind of lineage as well. Some of them that they remade shot for shot from the originals with different Stooges. I love the Stooges; they're hilarious, and my dad did as well. My dad does. Other films that came out this time, ones I'm not aware of, Monkey Boy, which came out in 1991, which is based on a British TV miniseries that I've never heard of, Monkey Boy. So yeah, that's an odd one. What else have we got that came out or were released? Currently available. So I guess what they're saying is it's not released in 92, but these are just available. Like ones that they've picked out, and it's such a random selection. Basket Case 3 is wild and crazy and more silly. The first one's grimier and I would say a little bit more, can it be realistic, but like sort of grotty New York hotel. The second one and the third one are kind of sillier and funnier and more cartoony. I think the first one's absolutely incredible, and they're all good. I watch any Basket Case. Let's have a Basket Case 4. Come on, Frank, if you're watching. I'm sure he is. So that's the video chopping list. Again, a strange one. There was the film Spirits that came out then as well. That was a Fred Olen Ray one. And obviously, he's made loads and loads about Eric Estrada and a den of demons and possessions. I'm just going to change this so you don't have to look at my background there for a second. Yeah, always wanted a Shem hairpiece. Oh, yeah, I think I'm going that way. I was just washing my hair and it's going a bit. It's probably the headphones. Yeah. More like, yeah, they're so good. The Stooges still make everyone happy now. I think they're like timeless. So, the Two Evil Eyes they were talking about Two Evil Eyes being released here, the double bill from Romero and Argento, which I've tried to watch a few times and tried to get into a few times, but I just haven't. This is an interesting one. There's an article in here about Kane Hodder returning for Friday the 13th. Now, obviously, things come and go when it comes to Friday the 13th, depending on who's fighting over the different rights and things like that. But check this out for a convention. People think of conventions as being a modern day, like, I know they've been around a long time, but like they're massive now. They're like a massive business rather than just kind of next to an airport. But check out the guest list for this. In May 1992 at the Los Angeles airport, a Hyatt hotel. So literally you could fit the amount of people that went to these into like hotel, which I know there's still some small ones now, but we're talking like aircraft hangar size places now for conventions. So at this one, you've got Dario Argento, Clive Parker, Gabe Bartalos from the FX from Basket Case 3, and the upcoming Leprechaun. Oh, that'll be interesting. I'll check out that. I've not heard of Adrian King from Friday the 13th, Part 1 and 2. Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator. Oh, my word. A preview of Army of Darkness. Mick Garris is there. Director of Sleepwalkers. A salute to Alien 3. Hellraiser 3 preview. This whole magazine is mainly about Hellraiser 3 coming up and how exciting it is. And it's like, it says on it, Pinhead's Diary. Can you just imagine him sat there? And he's like, Dear Diary, well, me and the Cenobites, we got into trouble again. Barbara Steele from Dark Shadows. I feel like Al has mentioned Barbara Steele or uploaded Al Lacard. Check out his channel. And Ian Ogilvy from so many things. Certainly Witchfinder General, Return of the Saint, and then the Screaming Starts, and more to join. Wow. Yeah, it was, I believe, $13 to get in and see all these people in Glendale. So good. This is Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors. So man, yeah, they're cool. Oh, well, let's see what Mikey's going to say about in high school during the pet rally and the band played a dance like Curly. Not only did my friends laugh and principal. Oh, well, if you're getting a laugh out of the principal, that's good, because my experience of American high school principals or college principals, mainly from things like Revenge of the Nerds, like that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. Oh, hey, Tommy, how you doing? Dario Argento is my story is making fun. Wow, that's cool. That is cool. And we just did top 10 Dario Argento films on the channel. I did it and JT did it, and it's on his channel. The longer version, the shorter versions are on mine. And Opera was his favorite. I was like the standard Argento guy, and my favorite is Suspiria. I just think that's a perfect film. But yeah, wow. That must have been so cool. Did you get to speak to him, Tommy? Did you get to say anything to the great man himself? I've spoken with one of his friends. I've sat and had a few drinks with Luigi Cozzi, who owns the Profondo Rosso store with him. Who made Star Crash that's behind me. Made loads of films as well. But yeah, I never got to meet the great man himself. I've heard he's a little bit on the grumpy side, but I don't know. That's just hearsay. I can't confirm or deny that. So moving on, what have we got in here? I do want to focus more on this one because I've had this a long time, this from 92. There's an interview here with Ian Ogilvy talking about Michael Reeves' classic films, Witchfinder General and films like that. So yeah, I'm not going to go into that too deeply, but yeah, Ogilvy's actually been quite a lot of famous films, quite a lot of good films. Now, check this out for an advert. This is, if you want it for film, you can tell it targets filmmakers as well. This is about buying special effects eyes. An advert for eyes. Now, I've seen some of these similar, probably not as good, but at different conventions I've been to. Yeah, Lon Chaney. Yeah, Phantom of the Opera. I've got the box set of all the Universal monsters, and I'm kind of working my way through them because I'm more of a Hammer guy. But yeah, I think I watched Phantom of the Opera recently. Actually, yeah, it was good. I liked it. Actually, it was one of the better ones. Yeah, Tenebrae is one. I think I had it at number 2 or number 3. It's one of those, isn't it, Tenebrae, where he says like, you know, oh, you don't like this about my films, you don't like that, you don't like I do this, you don't like the violence, you don't like. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do the whole thing more crazy and amp those things up to 100. Signed VHS, and he talked for an hour. Wow, that's so cool. I think he was over in Sheffield once. I don't think he'll ever come over here again for some. I just have a feeling he won't. But yeah, so if you're a filmmaker, you can buy some eyes. I'm not sure whether I would want an eye and a key ring. I have an eye condition anyway, so it's like it's almost just have an extra eye hanging around to remind me my eyes are faulty. It'd just be rubbing it in. So yeah, we've got the eye effects. Lots of things about effects in here. We've got the diary, Pinhead's diary. So guys, no, it just makes me laugh. Pinhead's diary. Just imagine him sat down writing it. Now, how funny, we're talking about the video eye of Dr. Cyclops, talking about video cassettes that are available, and the first one that comes up is Opera or Dario Argento's Phantom of the Opera, like you just, or Terror at the Opera, should I say. That it's just come up, so how cool is that? Yeah, that's really good. That's what I was trying to remember from before, subspecies. Hopefully, there's a little bit of a delay, so hopefully you can all still hear me okay, and there's no issues. So yeah, subspecies was one that they were talking about there. Again, a fantastic lowish budget full moon feature. And then there's an article all about Dan O'Bannon, talking about different things that he's done in his career, taking a break from doing a Lovecraft film that he was getting ready called The Resurrected. I've not seen that one. So yeah, it's nice to have that. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Nice comment here, an interesting comment from Mikey. Did you know Jackie Coogan, who played Uncle Fester, who played the kid from Charlie? I think I did. Yeah, he had a really tough life, didn't he? That's the reason there's all these laws in place for child actors now. Is it the Coogan laws? Because he was ripped off by his parents, essentially. So yeah, I think I'd read a bit about him. Reading about him and Fatty Arbuckle is a depressing afternoon. There used to be restaurants in the UK called Fatty Arbuckles, and I used to always think, guys, like the guy's had I think he was a pretty bad person and did some pretty horrible stuff, and some bad stuff happened too. It's like, I don't know, man, whether it's the right idea to call a restaurant after it. I don't think they exist anymore, though. Anybody remembers Fatty Arbuckles? So there's quite a lot in here. There's actually quite a bit about Peter Weller, about RoboCop, obviously, but also Naked Lunch, which I haven't seen. I'm starving though. But I will be fully clothed while meeting. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the other ones because I do want to cover some other comics and other books as well. But this is of the time. We're talking Lawnmower Man. We're talking that kind of era. Like I say, preparing for a lot of the number 3 films, like Child's Play 3, things like that. So. And I just love the fact that people are advertising for like all the special effects things that they can do and get. And this is so cool. This is my Batman, not my Batman. This is the Batman official costume. I can just wander around wearing one of those. Hey, Liv, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome. So yeah, I mean, as a kid, I thought I would have loved that. Man, I would have loved that. I mean, the whole color scheme and everything. To be honest, as an adult, I would love that. It's just that I can't think of an opportunity to wander around wearing it. I've got my my Batman, Michael Keaton VHS. I just love the colors. I've got an actual one sheet poster of it that I need to get framed. I just haven't got any room. Over there's all my horror stuff, which you probably won't be able to see unless I move my camera around. So I've got my signed pictures of different people, like John Russo and Russ Striner there from Night of the Living Dead, David Arquette, George St. Pierre, Bret Hart, people like that. And then my Brain Damage, Henning Lotter, and Vincent Price things over there. All my DVDs in there. VHS Harry. But this wall is empty. It's just next to my my remaining figure collection that I got rid of a lot. So yeah, it needs a home. My Batman poster needs a home. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Liv. Yeah, I'm dog sitting essentially, so I'm doing an afternoon stream to chat to nice people and talk about movies because I'm bored, but I want to kind of, I don't want anyone else to be bored too, so I'm going to try and help. But thank you for asking. Yeah, Fatty Arbuckle, yeah, Buster Keaton. I've actually upscaled a few Buster Keaton films and put them on the channel, some shorts as well, mainly because I'm a strong believer in public domain and promoting it. And I just thought if I upscale them to 4K, touch them up a little bit, make them a little bit brighter, clearer, the sound better, give people a bit more of a access to them, hopefully. But yeah, isn't it interesting when people change the personas like that? Where, like, for example, Oliver Hardy. There's some films of him before he was with Stan Laurel, and he just looked different and acted different, and he was trying to be like other people before he found his persona. Hey, Larry's here as well. She's a Springer Spaniel. I just completely skipped over you there, Larry. I do apologize. Yeah, she's a Springer Spaniel, and actually, Larry's here. He knows all about it because he's been such a good friend to me, listening to my worries. She's been a bit under the weather, so let's say dog sitting. Essentially, I can't take her out because she's been poorly, but she's recovering now, and here she is. She's just lying down there next to me. Marcy? No, okay. She's not interested. So yeah, good to see you, Larry. Are you still at work, or are you home, or is it morning, or what's going on? I don't know about this time. Speaking of Texans, saying hi to everyone. That's awesome. Yeah, there's Marcy. There's Marcy. She's the star. She's the star of the show. I do too. If you don't love dogs, I find it hard to bond. Equally, if my dog doesn't like you, the chances are I'm probably not going to like you either. Yeah, Batman and dogs. That was probably me also in 1989 as well. So yeah, so we've had a good look through Fangoria from '92. Going to move a bit further into a magazine. It might not be over in America, but the art on it is amazing. This is an issue of the Dark Side magazine from, I think it's from, I wrote this on the screen, but I can't remember now what year it is. I think it's 2020. Well, it's definitely Christmas. And the guy, I think it's called Rick Melton, who does the artwork for it. Look how good his artwork is. So this is all about Christmas ghost stories, this edition. But look how good. Yeah, fellow Texans. It's just like having Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. It's like talking to Stone Cold when I talk to Larry. What? Yeah. Dark Side. Yeah, it does sound like that. It's incredibly good. If you can get hold of it, you can probably get them on eBay. And it's shipping, isn't it, in America? And the same if I want something from the US as well. It's a kind of quite classy magazine, horror-wise. It says it's the world's best-selling print horror magazine. Now, I don't know if that's true. Well, they can't be lying about it. The guy's called Rick Melton, and if you go on eBay, you can see he's selling a lot of his things. He has these sort of sexy lady characters that he paints and puts into classic horrors. You like that kind of thing. Yeah, the Reaper is really good, Larry. There, yeah, you're right. You're right there, Russell. It's It is awesome. So the thing about this is it's got some real deep dives. So I did a screening of Nosferatu, and I used a lot of this as a jumping off point. So I'm trying to work out exactly when this is, because some of the new releases are ones like Hellraiser Revelations. So he just his face. The guy is that poor guy who's that poor guy who took over from Doug Bradley. Like, it's a shame, man. He's perfectly good actor, but like he just kind of looks goofy because he's not Doug Bradley. This kind of makes me laugh. For those watching the stream now, a little bit of a secret. I'm going to do a only the terrible Hellraiser season. Well, I'm not averse to a sexy lady character myself, Liv, to be honest. Yeah, Dark Side is good. I think it's still going, or it's certainly it's hanging in there. But yeah, too bad it wasn't good. Yeah, too bad it wasn't good. Yeah, I mean, they were just cranking them out at this point, weren't they? Hellraiser. They were just like, we want to keep hold of these things. We want to keep hold of the rights to these. I'm just going to show you I don't know if you can see all this, but like, Larry, you'll like this. Loads of people like this. There's an Elvira. He did some Elvira covers. He did. Yeah, it's from Rick Melton. Some Gilman posters as well. That if you can see, the light is kind of shining a little bit on that, but he's done some incredible work. So yeah, I think his character's called Judy that he paints the way, but then there's Elvira. Yeah, he's an incredible artist. I've got some of his postcards, but they're not of Voluptuous Ladies. They're of Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Vincent Price. Ooh, that's what so. Yeah. So yeah, there I go. I'm just going to put myself on screen for a second while I have a look on the other bit if I can, if it'll let me. Oh, man. Do you know what? I was just going to say, might have a live unboxing here because I've got something being delivered. So I literally heard my dog barking. You can probably hear that. Yeah. Yeah, Pinhead Ramones. Oh man, I love the Ramones. I remember being at university and wearing my Ramones t-shirt all the time. People were like, "Oh, so what's your favorite Ramones song? You know, do you even know who they are?" I was like, "Yes." Why would I be wearing it otherwise? Can you guys hear the dog going crazy? Marcy, live unboxing. Okay, Larry, you're in charge. Actually, Liv, you're in charge. No, Tommy, you're in charge. Okay, you're all in. Mikey, you're in charge. I'll be 1 minute. Live unboxing. Exciting stuff. Okay. Good job, Marcy. I know what this is. Okay, guys. I'm back. Liv, did you keep them in order? Did you keep these boys? Is there some of these guys you got to watch him? Yeah, you do. You get that all the time, don't you? We're all in charge. Yeah, you get that. It's like, oh, do you even like Led Zeppelin? Because Led Zeppelin, that Led Zeppelin t-shirt was, as they say, banging. But we're all in charge. Like, so live unboxing. I know what this is actually. So, short story is I got rid of all my WWF figures, all my Hasbro's, except for the Heart Foundation, because I'm a big Heart Foundation fan. I've got British Bulldog, and I mean like the extended Heart Foundation. And I've got British Bulldog, Bret Hart, Owen, Bret, of course. And I thought, well, I don't have a Brian Pillman. And they didn't make a Hasbro of him because he was in WCW at the time. So I got the old Galoob. I ordered a Galoob. That they can't, that they have no movement or anything, but I got they're about the same size because I had Sting and Lex Luger of these as a kid. I was like, right, well, I'll get a Brian Pillman. And then I was like, well, maybe I need the modern Heart people. But anyway, I got this. It's the Galoob Brian Pillman. Yeah, not loose cannon Brian Pillman, more flying Brian, but he's going with the guys. He's going in the cabinet, well, shelf. Got rid of the cabinet. With Brett and the guys. As you can see, they do kind of. So I'll try and get Brett out without knocking everybody over. When you look at the size of them, they do kind of tie in. Obviously, the Hasbros are better in a lot of ways because he's just kind of constantly got his arms in the air, like, okay, I give in. But yeah, Brett, you know, what do we call that? Articulation or movement or something? I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, that was who just arrived in the post. I was a little bit rude to the lady because I live in a little village now, and you kind of know everybody, and she's our local delivery person. She likes to say hello to my dog, and I was just kind of like, "Thank you, bye," and then ran back upstairs. So yeah, never mind. Oh, you have the Brett. Oh, nice. Yeah, Brett's the man. I actually went to see Bret Hart. I was gonna say in concert in Manchester, doing a talk, and honestly, you say never meet your heroes. He was so nice. He was so good. Also, the thing about Brett was my wife went along with me and one of my best friends. My wife didn't really know anything about it or have any interest, and he was so lovely and kind and gentle with her and respectful. And I was just like, I can see why people fall in love with you, Brett. He's such a great guy. Yeah, I had the VHS and some of the DVDs. I had the VHS up to like Smack 'em Whack 'em. One of them was called Coliseum Home Video. Anyone remember those? Yeah, Brett's got a bit of movement there, hasn't he? It's not broken either. So yeah, the Undertaker from Death Valley, which is Texas. So yeah, straight back to our Texas theme. So the dark side, I would recommend people getting hold of that if you can. And what are the? Oh, she's called Susie, right? Okay, so am I going to get taken down for this? It's actually a little bit risque. Some of the pictures of Susie. But yeah, if you want to actually, I'm not. Yeah, Rick Melton. If you want to find out some pictures, Rick Melton and pictures of Susie, some of his characters. I'll just kind of show you briefly. There's Susie. I can't see her head, which is not good. I was unintentionally objectifying her. So yeah, there we go. There's Susie. Yeah, the UFC DVDs. I think I had the Ultimate Fighter on DVD, but also they did double packs of the early UFCs. So I had I pretty much started collecting around UFC 100. But I just wanted to show you this, but I can't quite get it on screen without it falling over. It's not as tough as the old Fangoria. But I just wanted to show you this because it's a documentary I watched the other night that I was talking about on the live stream, called All Our Haunts. All the haunts be ours. Oh, that was easy to say. It's like a massive documentary, like 3-hour documentary, and then 20 folk horror films. It's incredible. It's really, really good. Oh yeah, he does. He is just the man. He is the man. That's what, Sting, yeah. It's Sting. Yeah, up in the rafters. Yeah, Sting. Al Lacard on Al Lacard channel. Al went to see AEW recently. I'm not sure whether Sting was there, but Sting's retiring soon. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Susie's got a look of Heather Graham, definitely. Yeah. So I would recommend that. The documentary, it's a long documentary, but it's got tons of folk horror from around the world in that box set. Quite expensive from Severin. So switch back. Yeah, so if you like folk horror, that's probably a good place to start. Also, the British Library do some really good folk horror stuff. So I get this magazine every month. I don't like it as much as I used to do, but I get it as part of like my banking. You get a free perk with your bank, and I get Empire magazine every month. And this is the subscribers only one. I'll show you in a second. It's bloody well stamped up. Pardon my very slight swear word. Um, it is the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire collector's cover. So I used to love Ghostbusters as a kid, still do. And then I was like, everyone was telling me that the latest one, Afterlife, was good, and I was like, I'm not sure. And me being me, I left it and left it and left it. I've literally only watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was good. I actually enjoyed it. I liked it, so I probably will watch this Frozen Empire. They've got me back in. They've got me right back in there. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's it. You want him to retire when he's still got all his faculties. He can move around and walk and stuff. So yeah, the guy's incredible what he's doing, and he just seems like the nicest guy. I watched a documentary about the Ultimate Warrior that was on A&E, I think a year or so ago, and it was Sting's just seems like another lovely guy. It's nice to see what seems like lovely people being successful. It's called Make 'Em Laugh. What's that one? What's the documentary about comedy? It's called Make 'Em Laugh. Oh, that sounds interesting. Oh, about comedy. Oh, you explained literally in the next one. I just had to read on. Oh, Make 'Em Laugh. That sounds interesting. Is it got any British stuff in there? Or is it very, very much American based? It's got like Carry On films. I'd love to do some live streams of the Carry On films and see what most of my friends in America make of them. So yeah, so the thing about Empire was it used to list every DVD, everything that came out. And obviously now it's not the same. It's like a listings mag, and the articles are quite. I don't know. They don't. I still think it's good. I will read it. I don't think I would buy it if I didn't get it for free. That sounds awful, but it used to be an absolute essential. It used to be a lot thicker as well. Plus, magazines are really expensive now. And I do think there's a place for them. Like Sight and Sound, I had Sight and Sound as a subscription for a year, and that one really is like reading a book. Like not the thickness of it, but the content of it. So yeah, I think they're doing a Star Wars prequels next month, which is supposed to go. Oh man, right. I'm gonna have to stop because Russell has made a very, very, very important point. One that I totally agree with. So I'm Jimmy Carr. I am not a fan. Okay, not a fan because I remember him doing comedy for years and not having that laugh. I think it's a way of stealing joke laughs from other people or getting the attention back on him. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Carr. Plus, I don't think he's particularly funny. Like, there's a comedian we had over here called Bob Monkhouse who was like a quipster like him, but 100 times better. Yeah, 100 times better. Maybe I'm just old. The PBS. Okay. Oh, I wonder what's about people in there. Yeah. Wonder who that. Yeah, Sting's still going. You just caught him. Yeah, just caught him before he leaves. So the thing about Empire, I would say, is Dark Side's a really good one to collect. And people used to collect Empire in binders and stuff. And they do get interviews with the big stars. For example, they've done 4 pages here on Ghostbusters and all the people that are in it. And then they just pick out the big films really now. And the reviews are pretty solid. They did a really good review for the film American Fiction. I think it came out 2nd of February, which actually looks quite interesting. It's like about a guy who writes quite gritty, quite middle of the road books, nothing too gritty, nothing too serious. And then he plays up to like kind of racial stereotypes and he becomes very popular with like a white audience. And it sounds like a bit Spike Lee-ish. So I thought, right, yeah, that sounds quite interesting. They wrote a good review of that. I need to get a stand for my magazines to go on because other than Fangoria, none of them want to stand up. Yeah, there's still a few things in Empire that are good. Like there's an article here about Mae West that's quite interesting. But like I said, it's like 8 pages on Ghostbusters, then other stuff that's on Disney Plus, and it's like I'm not sure whether I could not can find out most of this stuff on IMDb or Letterboxd or something like that. And I think it's like nearly £5. So we're talking what's that in American money? Like $7 or something. Ridiculous. Now this magazine is big fat quiz of the year. Yeah, sometimes have some good guys on there, don't they? Yeah, they sometimes have some pretty cool people on there. Yeah, got a wrestling expert. That's cool. I keep up with it semi-regularly. I have the WWE Network, and I'll sometimes do watch-alongs with certain podcasts. Find that quite interesting. I like doing my own watch-alongs on here with things, but I also like listening into other people's watch-alongs and 1, 2, 3 play. Like Tony Schiavone's podcast is really cool. I like him. So the next magazine is another collector cover, and it is the collector cover of I Spit on Your Grave. And it is, let me just switch back. It's called Starburst. Now I don't know if this made it across, not Starbur as it looks like, so I'm kind of leaning it as the S and T. So it's got a collector's edition of I Spit on Your Grave, a film I've only watched in the last year. I have a real appreciation of it. I think it isn't gratuitous. I don't think it's I think it's like a proper film. Like it's a really well-made film. Maybe Catching Lightning in a Bottle, because some of those sequels are horrendous, like just bad, not like horrendous, shocking or anything, just bad. But this was a magazine I got given for free at the Starburst Film Festival in Manchester. That's where I met Luigi Cozzi. Me and my friend, we went, and they showed Terrorvision as well. Oh, it's so good. They have like a mini film festival, different films. Lloyd Kaufman, I met him there as well. That was really cool. Came in Manchester in a big hotel, and you basically get your hotel room, and then you just go there in the morning and just drink all day and eat all day. And it's right next to the BBC in Manchester. I don't think they do it anymore. No, it's there's a guy who owns the magazine now, owns like a cafe in Manchester that's kind of like a multimedia cafe. He's really cool, really nice guy. They were giving away some of the free magazines and badges and things like that. He's super cool. And I think it was just before COVID was the last one. Starburst is the longest running movie magazine in the world, I believe. So it's it's a good one, Starburst, to read. It's literally just almost like a fantasy, sci-fi, horror, a bit of everything in there. Let's see what have we got. What have we got? Yeah. I love Andy Kaufman. Taxi. Yeah. And in doing that thing where he'd fight women in the ring, and Jerry Lawler would come and sort of protect them, and it became a big thing. And then the Man on the Moon film portrays that really well. I think Jim Carrey went a little bit crazy, didn't he, making Man on the Moon, because it was he literally stayed in character all the time. Yeah, there's always some good collector's editions of Starburst. They also cover merch. Merch, is that a thing? Yeah. Like t-shirts and collectibles and stuff. So it's actually good for that. And board games. They are quite not like they're almost like the opposite of Empire, where they cover things that are a little bit more or less mainstream. Like, for example, there's a big article on the second Wolf Cop film, which I thought was a bit disappointing. I think both of them were both disappointing, to be honest. And Fab Cafe in Manchester. That's where the guy called. I'll just put that up just so you can see it, because I think that's still going. Yeah, Fab Cafe in Manchester. It's basically just a really great hangout for people who like sci-fi and horror and all kinds of things. And interestingly enough, the big interview is with somebody that Gareth interviewed, and somebody I met at Starburst Film Festival. So if you guys know Video Tasties, who was on earlier on. So Gareth interviewed Graham Humphreys. He does a lot of the artwork for posters and for this. he's really, really, really cool. And yeah, there's a video today of some things that he sent to Gareth on Video Tasty's channel, so you check that one out. But yeah, he's done some incredible posters, and he was at a Starburst Film Festival as well. Yeah, I Spit on Your Grave. It's a hard watch, but man, she gets her without being spoilers. It's how many years old is it? Yeah, she gets her revenge. Thank you very much. No, I always end up sounding like Borat when I do that. My wife. Yes, Gareth. Thank you. Yeah, guys, really do check that out. I think I commented on it earlier on. It's some really cool stuff that Graham sent to him, and it was a really interesting interview as well. I got a book of his and got it signed and picture taken with him. He was a really nice guy. Yeah, Gareth's here, VT. Revenge movies so much. What other revenge movies do you recommend? That's interesting. Night Train Murders is one that I quite like. This I think is a good revenge one. Quite a lot of giallo. I don't know if that counts as giallo, but I think it is. So yeah, Graham Humphrey's interview there. Strangely enough, a lot of the people interviewed were at the film festival, so maybe that's why they were giving us the magazine. This is basically talking about the nastiest films. Okay, so it's a top 20 nastiest films. I'm going to put myself back on screen so you don't have to look at my little leather thingy bob. Need to get a poster to put there or something, don't I, to make it a bit more interesting. So these are the top 20 foulest films according to Starburst magazine. So tell me your thoughts on this. I can work backwards, I can work forwards. So Dead and Buried, number 20. Stan Winston did the effects for that. I feel like I've seen Dead and Buried. Number 20. Number 19, Expose. Ooh, Death Sentence. Yeah. I'll tell you what, yeah, that's a good one. Good call. Expose, Udo Kier starred in that. It's a British one. I can't remember it. I probably have seen it. The next one I definitely have. So this is supposed to be the foulest, worst, almost. But it's from the Section 2 list of video nasties, not Section 3. So number 18, The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, which is great. Yeah. Hey, Mikey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank you for having. Yeah, it's been really fun talking to you as well, and making me think about the Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. The Living Dead in Manchester Morgue is one of my favorite zombie films, and filmed not too far away from me, mostly in the Lake District, and around Derbyshire and Cumbria, all over the place, and a bit in Manchester as well. So all my places where I've kind of spent time in my life. And it's really misty outside my window right now, in here in the middle of deepest, darkest Cumbria. And yeah, I can imagine some zombies wandering around. So yeah, number 18 in their foul countdown was Living Dead in Manchester Morgue. Bloody Moon, the Jess Franco film. Again, I have not seen that. Flesh for Frankenstein at number 16. Andy Warhol's Flesh for Frankenstein. Yeah, take aim, right. Yeah, which one's it? Death Sentence or Last House on the Left? Yeah, I find that hard to get through. I'm a bit of a softie. Hard Candy, I have seen quite a long time ago. It's a clever film, isn't it? It's a clever film, clever concept. Like, you don't see many films like that. Martyrs, I've not seen. I've heard of it. Blue Ruin, I do like. I like all of the films by that gentleman. Yeah. You're Next. You're Next. That sounds familiar. The Hunt. I can't remember that. Oh, okay. Yeah, some of those I've not seen. So some of those are going on my list as soon as we're finished here, Liv. So thank you for that. Oh, you've seen, yeah, The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue is a good one. Yeah, I saw somebody was talking about Hard Candy being one of their favorite films recently. Yeah, I maybe need to see that again. Maybe it just washed over me. So back to the list. Flesh for Frankenstein, Andy Warhol's Flesh for Frankenstein, even though he didn't actually direct it himself. A Bay of Blood, Mario Bava's Bay of Blood. I think, yeah, that's one that's mentioned a lot. Um, that'll be one for JT's channel. Check out JT's channel. He's great talking about Jello. Absurd in 1981. That's JT Horror's discussions, by the way. Also, check out everybody's channels who you can see in the chat, guys. If you're not subscribed to them, they're all really cool people. You know that already because you're all talking to each other. But if you're watching this on catch up or whatever we want to call it, watching it later, or when you wake up, or when you're going to sleep, or you want to listen to me to help yourself go to sleep, then just subscribe to these people. So, A Bay of Blood, Absurd, Joe D'Amato's Absurd from 1981. A pseudo sequel to Anthropophagus, which has got a great rap in Mystery Science Theater of that. Yeah, Absurd. I can't remember if I've seen that. The problem is, this is why I'm starting using Letterboxd so I can actually remember what I've seen. Pseudo sequel. A murderous rampage during Super Bowl season. Oh, that's perfect. The Super Bowl, the Hyper Bowl. Cannibal Apocalypse. Antonio Margheriti. Quentin Tarantino likes to talk about him a lot. John Saxon's in that one. Blood Feast. Herschel Gordon Lewis loves his blood, doesn't he? I've seen a few of his. Yeah. Is Death Sentence the Charles Bronson, or there's a remake, or am I getting mixed up with something else? Oh my word, I'm so confused. The House on the Edge of the Park, that one. Now that one I do remember. David Hess is insane in that film. The House on the Edge of the Park, 1981. His sidekick that he's kind of beaten into submission. Oh my word. Yeah. Oh, Blood Feast. Yeah. It's the oldest film on this list. It says 1963. Tempera Paint Red. Funny looks and Lewis's creepy organ score. A creepy organ. Pardon. The House on the Edge of the Park. Yep, I have that one. That's a tough one, but it's a good one. The Burning, 1981. Everybody talks about The Burning a lot. George Costanza's in that one. Can't stand you. But yeah, Cropsy and all that good stuff. It's not my favorite slasher, but I've seen it a few times. I think okay, right. So let's catch up with the chat so I can learn from you guys. Death Sentence is a Kevin Bacon, James Watt. Yes. Okay, I like Kevin Bacon. I like him. He is in my list of people who could potentially be Freddy Krueger, I think. If they have to do a new one, but then I thought David Demalstian would be the best Freddy Krueger. What's next on the list? Shall I just stop? No. So number 9, Anthropophagus, the Beast, another Joe D'Amato directed film. I have seen that one. There's some really strange music in that, if I can remember. 1981, The Beyond, and yep, definitely. I think I've seen that one. That's Fulci, isn't it? Lucio Fulci. It stands, yeah. Oh, I'm going to go back because I've missed what Larry's doing, which is very cleverly posting links to everyone. And for whatever reason, it won't let me go back in the chat. So, okay, back in the chat now. So let's see. So here are the links to everyone who's in the chat, because to be honest, this would just be me reading magazines on my own. Mikey there. Live. Oh yeah, I can see the names now. Man, I need to get my eyes sorted. You may have heard of Video Tasties. You may have. Yeah, The Beyond. I can't remember. What's that one about again? I'm sure I've seen it. I'm not getting it mixed up with From Beyond, but I know Larry. Yeah, Larry, you're a big Seinfeld fan. I think we were talking about the Kramer episode, weren't we? Where he has the room that's set up like a chat show, very much like the King of Comedy, but funny. Well, King of Comedy has some funny bits too. The Beast in Heat, the Nazi exploitation film. I got a massive box set of these free from someone. I'll be honest, they're not I've not seen any of the Nazi exploitation ones that I liked, to be honest, if I'm completely honest. Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. Oh, if there is one that you think I should check out, please put it in the chat and I'll put it on my list. Nightmares of a Damaged Brain. Sounds painful. I've not seen that one. Oh, okay. Number 5, we're getting into some real Marv Griffin or Merv Griffin. Marv Griffin is he the guy from Home Alone? Harry Griffin, no, the Wet Bandits. Any opportunity for me to mention Home Alone. The Evil Dead is number 5. That's pretty famous, isn't it? Don't need to say much about that one. Zombie Flesh Eaters, 1979, the year I was born. The zombies were unleashed. Yeah, it's a little more than a title, but what a title! Zombie Flesh Eaters, got a title, isn't it? The Last House on the Left, number 3. I think Liv mentioned that one earlier on. Again, David Hess. The only problem I have with The Last House on the Left is that from what I've read, that the ladies who were involved in it had a terrible, terrible time, and I think that Wes Craven regretted some of the stuff that happened there. But I can appreciate that it's a seminal film, a good film, brutal film. Well, sometimes we need brutal films. Number 2, Cannibal Holocaust, one of the most controversial films of all time. This is the one that I've avoided because of animal stuff. Now, there is, not according to JT. JT told me there is a version of this with the animal stuff taken out. So maybe I'll watch that. Mother's Day. It's kind of revengeful. Yeah, isn't that officially a trauma film, Mother's Day? Or am I thinking of something else? Number 1, you can put it in the chat and guess. So this is the top 20 from the Video Nasties list from the category 2. What do you think they had down as number 1? Let's see. Yes, and that's the same with a few of the other films we talked about. Night Train Murders is like that. First half's brutal. Yeah. Oh man, I know what you mean though. Wes Craven just seemed like a lovely, sweet guy as well. Yeah, me too, Larry. Me too. Dead Alive. It's not Dead Alive. It's not Dead Alive. That's a good guess though. I think Dead Alive was that number 20, or did I make that up? No, Dead and Buried. Okay, so number 1 on the list is one we actually have talked about already. It was I Spit on Your Grave. Now, funnily enough, I watched this with Al because we're doing a Video Nasty season on Al Lucard's channel. And sorry, Texas. Sorry, Russell. Sorry, Texas. I was just calling you, like calling me sorry, England. No, it's not. It's not. It is I Spit on Your Grave. It sounds like I'm abusing people when I say that as well. I spit on your grave. I spit on your grave. Miyazaki actually got in touch with Alan and myself after watching the review that we did, and his son said that it was a very even review, and we really got it, and I thought it was really nice. Really nice of him to reach out, which is really strange because quite a few films that I've done recently, the person who's made the film has I've not done a lot of reviews on the channel, but the people have reached out and gone like either completely disagreed with me, like Hammer did. Hammer Horror got in touch with me and were just like, well, that's just one review. I was talking about the reviews and they were like, oh, well, that's just one review. And then the guy who made Suitable Flesh got in touch as well, was saying, because I said that he wasn't as good a director as Stuart Gordon, which is true. But then I think Stuart Gordon's amazing, and it's probably harsh criticism. It's a good film. It is a good film. I did 5 positives and 5 negatives, and I just thought I'd try that out. And he didn't like the fact I'd mentioned that he was no Stuart Gordon. He said that his mum liked it, which was an interesting comeback. I'd like to interview him though and have a chat with him about that. It's hard taking criticism, and I find it hard taking criticism when I've sent things in. So yeah, I Spit on Your Grave. That is a classic. It is a real really brutal, but really well made, and I don't think it's exploitative at all. So yeah, so that was my run through Starburst, Empire, Dark Side, and um, what did we start with? Fangoria. So one thing I will say is, if you like any of those, they are often available. Job lots of them on eBay, and obviously eBay is a bit of a minefield, isn't it? At times. Let me take this off the screen. I'll look at my ugly face. So yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, I'm calling text. Yeah, got a lot of love for Texas. Got a lot of love for Texas. Yeah, we are our own worst critic. I'm certainly critical of what I do in most things, but I also now, as I've got older, maybe the last 10 years or so, if I'm good at something, I'm quite willing to say I'm good at it, which I never used to be. Because when somebody gives you a compliment, this is a bit of advice. This is old man Matt giving advice, but when somebody gives you a compliment, they want to give you that compliment. Therefore, it's good manners and it's correct to accept it and take it, rather than go no 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 no. That's what so I learned that. I don't know who taught me that, but I think it's important. And I'm going to give you all. Oh yeah, Rue Morgue. Now I follow the Rue Morgue website. Sorry, my mind's in a million different directions, Liv. But yeah, yeah. I don't have any actual physical copies, but I follow their website. They have a good Facebook page as well. I need to check that out. Is that an American? That must be an American magazine, but I've heard of it, and I do. To be honest, I thought it was a website. I didn't even know it was a magazine. So yeah, I need to check that one out. In fact, what I've got behind me is like a massive sort of box full of old magazines and comics and things like that I'm just working my way through. Mainly because I got rid of so much physical media and magazines and books, and I sold my VHS, sold my DVDs, sold my Blu-rays, and I have been either buying some back or just holding on to certain key ones. Like I literally had every Star Wars figure from the first set all the way through to Power of the Force, and I got rid of all of them. But then I started collecting retro figures. Because they are really cool, and it's a good way of me getting these things that aren't mega expensive. But I have like that one of Luke, for example. It just takes me back to being a kid. It's amazing. But they have really taken off and become quite popular. Therefore, I'd have to keep buying and keep buying and keep buying. So I'm going to have to make a decision whether I stop collecting retros, in the same way as I'm going to have to make a decision about a few other things that I've always collected, whether I need to just call it a day or not. But like I sold all my LPs and my singles, and I've still got some key ones. But yeah, I've done a few videos on them. They'll be coming out in the next month or so. Oh, Rue Morgue is Canadian. Well, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. I've just done. I have literally just edited a video about Patrick Bateman. About Christian Bale talking about Patrick Bateman. Just a little clip that I found really interesting. I met Bret Easton Ellis on a book tour for, it wasn't Glamorama, it was Luna Park, and he signed. I didn't get him to sign the book. I got him to sign my ticket for the talk that he did, which was strange. And he was okay. He was pretty nice guy, I guess. He's interesting. He's kind of like the literary version of Tarantino or whatever. But again, the bit that gets me in American Psycho, none of the terrible stuff that he does to human beings, but it's the dog. Yeah, bless. Yeah, I love Canada. I was just thinking about this. We were talking about this the other night, and we're trying to remember. This was on Larry and Don Night Owl, two amazing guys, so funny, so clever, such a great show that they do called In the House, and they were kind enough to invite me onto it on Friday night, and we were going through just Canadians and how amazing they are, and in terms of funny Canadians and things like that, and I was like, Michael J. Fox and Matthew Perry, and then I started going blank, and I was just like, "Oh, Bret, he's not a good. Well, he's Canadian, but he's not Canadian." But there's so many amazing. Like I think Larry mentioned Eugene Levy, but there is this. I need to write a definitive list of awesome Canadians. Even like Ryan Reynolds, like I know some people can take or leave him, and there's a bit of a rivalry between his football club and my football club. So, but I liked him when he was in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place when it did have a pizza place. So yeah, there's just so many funny. I think David Spade is Canadian, you know. But yeah, there's just so many funny. It just must be just their sensibility. Like Rob's vintage video, man, he's funny. Uh, he's awesome. Rush, yeah. Gary Paul. I need to look that one out. Look that one up, should I say? Canada. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. That's good. I have kept my Ramones yellow Road to Ruin yellow LP. I've kept all my Elvis Costello. Um, I've kept most of my Paul McCartney. Some soundtracks, some singles. I've got like some strange singles. I've got like the song from Hill Street Blues. Yeah, so it's got some good British bands in there as well, man. Buzzcocks, they're from Manchester. So ever fallen in love with a girl you shouldn't have fallen in love with? Yeah, man. Awesome. The Clash. Yeah. Who sings like Joe Strummer? No one. Or actually, no. Loads of American people sing like Joe Strummer because that's what they think British people sound like when they're punks, I think. But I think he just sounds like he's definitely got like a nasal quality, hasn't he, to his singing? But man, I like a lot. I liked a lot of Joe Strummer's solo stuff as well. I think I've got Straight to Hell. I might have Straight to Hell somewhere. So I haven't got rid of everything. Yeah, Mike Myers. Yeah, and he's got a British link as well. I think his family from Liverpool originally moved to Canada. They tried to, yeah. So, guys, it's been really, really cool. If there's any films you think I should check out that we've discussed, or magazines, or music, or any of those things, that's really, really good fun. Just let me know, and I will put them on my list, and maybe I might end up doing a video about it at some point. I've got loads of things coming up on the channel. The Hellraiser season in March. Trying to release things either one every day or every 2 days. Some silly shorts as well, just to kind of entertain myself and maybe one or two other people. Got some live streams coming up with Gareth and Al. We're doing David Cronenberg film. I've got one coming up with Savage Zombie Reviews. Dave, check out his channel as well. He's got one coming up soon that we're doing together. I think we're doing Shivers, or am I doing that with Mike, the Fifth Beatle? So yeah, check out his channel too. I've got 3 or 4 more, and with Larry, I'm doing Night of the Living Dead 85. I was just about to say that, Larry. Honest, I was. Michigan. Yeah. Michigan. I can think the Steiner brothers went to Michigan University. They used to wear the M on their things, yeah. Yeah, the weird exploitation movies as well. They're pretty cool things, yeah. I watched a Canadian film the other night called Blood and Donuts, with David Cronenberg in it as like a mafia boss. That was a weird one. That's on YouTube. So yeah, they do some Mescaleros. Yeah, Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros. Yes, and Larry's been kind enough to watch Night of the Living Dead. I've re-edited Night of the Living Dead. I've not colorized it, but I've kind of colorized certain bits of it. I was thinking of like our Sin City, where certain key things are different colors. So I did that. I put a few vaporwave things in. I put some 80s adverts, some things in the middle, and intermission, a little tribute to George A. Romero. Certainly can't improve on it because for me it's perfection. But yeah, Larry's a huge fan too. Hopefully I'm okay speaking for you with that, because I know you're a fan of Night of the Living Dead, Larry. And yeah, Final Sacrifice. Yeah, that's a Canadian. Yeah, that's a Canadian film. So guys, I gotta go take the dog outside. But it has been so cool spending time with you all. And if you want me to do any more of these again, just let me know. If there's anything going on in your channel, and you want me to put it in the community tab, I will, because you're all such cool people and doing such interesting things. And I won't promote anybody who I don't like or enjoy talking to. Big thanks to Jay at the beginning coming on. He does support so many people on the channel, on the channel on YouTube, in this sort of I hesitate to use the word community, but like sort of group of YouTube channels that I'm aware of. Larry is an incredible advocate for other creators as well. Liv, thank you so much. Russell, thank you for sticking with me. Gareth, so much going on his channel. The guy is incredible in terms of the amount of content he gets out there. It's crazy. Mikey's comedy channel. You know, I've just got to know Mikey recently. He's such a fun person, fun and funny person. So yeah, I don't think I've missed anyone else. Oh yeah, of course, Tommy. And Tommy, yeah, Tommy's story about Dario Argento. How cool was that to hear that? I just love hearing other people's stories about people they meet. Bud Files, awesome. So yeah, guys, have an absolute wonderful whatever time of day it is where you are, morning, so afternoon, or for me, it is 4:10 in the afternoon. Time to take the dog out into the mist. There's a golf course over there, and I'm going to go and try and walk over it and see if she's. Yesterday, she was getting well, and I took her for a walk, and she got halfway through the walk, and she just stopped, which is not like her. So I had to carry her. And as I was carrying her, this is one of the things about living in a small village. This lady just pulled up, never met her before in my life. She was like, "Do you want a lift?" And just helped me like drive as I was struggling carrying the dog. Just drove me back home with the dog. How nice is that? So the lesson for today is online, like you guys, and in real life, there are some good people still around. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, Blood and Donuts. You've seen it, man. I'm not sure what I think about that film, but yeah, I could keep talking all day. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what I thought about Blood and Donuts. Take it easy. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Liv. Thank you, Larry, and everybody that I said earlier on too. And if you want me to do this again, just let me know. It was good fun. I'll try and fit some in while I'm not too super drowned in work. So speak to you soon. I haven't got a sign off thing yet. So I'm just going to say, have a great day. Bye, everyone.